I'm Tiger Height, and I'm here to make WWE Smackdown and Pro Wrestling Majestic again. There was a lot of competition with wrestling last night, so Smackdown put on a short, sweet, simple show. 5 segments, all of them for the most part pretty good. But goddamn, that Death Before Dishonor, that was a really good show. I'll cover that later. But let's kick off with our first matchup here, which has some controversy, and I would like to talk about it because I think it's important. We have Rey Mysterio, Sheamus, Cameron Grimes, LA Knight in the United States Champion Invitational. And you would think it would be big brain to have LA Knight win this match and go on to face Theory. I'm going to disagree with you on that, and I think they made the right call. Number one, Rey Mysterio was really popular. Insanely popular. But with LA, does he need it? No, seriously, does he need the United States Championship right now? I say no. Would it be cool for him to have a title? Definitely. But he's already getting the reaction that they want. And I think he needs to be in a position and in a rivalry, preferably against a babyface that puts him more on a pedestal. I don't like that they're doing nothing with him, but they should be doing at least something with him. And if you say, oh, he's going to be the guy to take the title off of Reigns, are you insane? LA Knight is popular, but Roman Reigns is a definite needle mover. I like LA. I don't think he's quite there yet. With the right booking, he will be though. So yes, it was a Hurricane Rana pin on Cameron Grimes for Rey Mysterio to win. Don't worry about LA Knight. Period. End of story. Good match though, it gets a thumbs up from me. So up next we have Charlotte Flair taking on Iyo Sky, and people are haranguing Charlotte Flair for that one botch where she did the flip from the Hurricane Rana too late. Jesus Christ, it was one botch. And the rest of the match was pretty damn good, because both of these wrestlers are pretty damn good. We had a little bit of the Shotzi tease with Bayley reacting quite well to it, and that's getting me curious about this rivalry. And it was a natural selection for Charlotte Flair to win. I think as well that Iyo sort of made a mistake on that because she wasn't up in the position for full natural selection, so it looked kind of wonky. I'm not going to hold her to it because overall it was still a good match. We all make mistakes. There was a post-match attack by Asuka. Bianca Belair wasn't even there for some reason. I'll give this a full thumbs up. I liked more than I hated. Up next is a non-title match between Austin Theory and Santos Escobar. And they set up this quite nicely actually, so I'm quite happy with it. I know I usually like haranguing champions being in non-title matches, but I'm going to make an exception with this one because Santos needed this. And let me explain. They're obviously on Santos right now, and they're really putting him on a pedestal as it relates to his career. He needs a big win before his contenders match against Rey Mysterio next week. And I think with Austin Theory eating the pin here in a good match, this puts Santos on a different level. If he beats Rey Mysterio, I think Santos is going to be the guy to beat Austin Theory for this title. And to be honest with you, I would rather wait for LA for a Santos Escobar and LA Knight feud than an Austin Theory and an LA Knight feud. I'm not a big fan of Santos being a transitional champion, but I feel like he's going to. We'll get some good matches out of it. I'm not worried about that. But we could do something a little bit better with it. We'll see where it goes. It was a Phantom Driver for a clean victory. Good match. Full thumbs up. So up next is for the North American Champion. Yes, the NXT North American Champion, where Dominic Mysterio defended against Butch. There was a backstage segment that set this up, and I think it was okay for what it was. Title match right here. You have a lot of competition with Rampage and Death Before Dishonor, so they had to do something, a title match somewhere. And this is exactly what they needed to do with this. You put it on a main roster guy with Dominik, who is red or white hot as it relates to his heat. And you're putting the North American champion on the line on these shows where they're getting 2.5 million viewers. And now, with that exposure, that 2.5 million viewers might say, maybe I'll check out NXT. That's called big brain. The match itself was fine. It didn't really get into that second gear that I think a title match should have, but for what they're doing with it, it's a good idea. And it was a face into the turnbuckle, like the little turnbuckle thing, the pole. There we go, the pole for Dominik to win. There was a little bit of a sloppy pin that kind of came about that, but like I said, I'm not going to hark too much about it. I thought it was fine overall. It gets an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. Maybe a little more heat. Maybe the fact that Dominic Mysterio is a raw fucking superstar. And finally, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso's rules of engagement. This essentially set up SummerSlam. I mean, they are wrestling at SummerSlam for the title. And not just for the title, like for the championship, but the title of Tribal Chief. And they even said that the elders approved it. Lore on top of lore on top of lore. My God, this stuff is great. When you think that the Bloodline story is getting stale, it just comes back swinging for more. You wonder why there's 2.5 million people watching this. This is a big reason for it. This was done so well. It was very calm. The parts where it actually got somewhat intense with Solo going to hit the Samoan spike on Jey Uso was really good, but Roman and Jey did not have an interaction. Or they had an interaction, but it wasn't a physical interaction. Because, once again, it's not about that, it's about the lore of the Bloodline. This just kicked all of the ass. And not only that, it's going to be a tribal combat match. No disqualifications. That is exactly what this match needed for SummerSlam. Jesus, I might have to go to Detroit. This gets a full thumbs up from me. Not quite a 2, but definitely a full thumbs up. But with that being said, I want to hear from you. What did you think about SmackDown? Did you watch SmackDown? Comment down below, comment on the side, wherever you're listening this or watching this on. Also, follow or subscribe depending on where you're watching this, either on TikTok or on YouTube. Get some hats, and also become a patron. There is a link in the bio or in the description, once again, wherever you're watching this on. And as always, be majestic.